Hi, everybody. Good morning. John gets a belt today. Congratulations, John.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Shout out. What's up, Warren? We are up in here. See, it's not Scott. Is it Sean? I think it's Sean.
SA Carpenter 22. That's who that
that's
is.
the homie. Yeah, he pulled up to
Michigan
one of our watch
Wolverines.
parties. Yeah.
That's the other guy's name, Michigan
All right.
Wolverines.
SA, that's your name now. Shout out.
Tyler Jennings.
Up, Tyler? I'm not doing a tweet today. I got 2 minutes. All right.
I can put one together. Let me check.
I'm on it.
Okay.
Shout out, John.
I think that was the right amount of.
Yeah. Warren, good morning. Shout out, Zebra.
Good morning, everybody. It was bright again this morning instead of dark and stormy.
I'm not a fan of the stormy part, but I am a fan of the darkness in the morning and stuff. I won't lie.
I'd prefer if it was light, I think.
I like the night vibes, I guess.
There's something about leaving work when it's dark out, or like
definitely
when it's dusk.
See, I love that for some reason. I don't know. I think I'm in the minority though. Oh, you do too?
I'm with you.
Yeah. Sacramento's also a cool city to drive through, though.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like my favorite thing, if I'm coming like from the Bay or something like that, I'm driving at night, like just kind of driving on the 5, and then you see might be the 80, and then you see like the kind of the city building.
Oh yeah,
like that all lit up.
Definitely.
Yeah,
no,
that's
I can
my favorite part.
definitely agree with that, especially after a long drive too. It's like, oh man.
I don't think we're gonna get there, guys. I don't think it's gonna happen. And oh. Ah! We're not gonna get any photos on these, but that's fine.
Appreciate you, B. Good morning. Just gonna try fun every day, trying to get better every day. Appreciate you. Spencer, shout out.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. A happy Wednesday to you. Jesse Tapia is over there. I'm Kyle Madsen. That's Joe Brazil. And we're The Jump. We're hanging out with you until 9 right here on ESPN 1320, Sacramento Sports Leader. Thank you so much, everybody listening on the radio on 1320 AM. We're also available on 98.5 FM HD2. Everybody listening on the free Odyssey, iHeart, or TuneIn apps, thank you so much. If you download the free Odyssey app and you search ESPN 1320, make sure to follow the station. It's not like, it's not heart. There's a follow button. Follow the station on the Odyssey app, and you'll be notified when we're live.
Yeah,
which is super dope. And when you open the app, it's just right there, and you can listen. You don't have to be in your car. You can listen at work or while you're walking around your house, doing whatever. On the free Odyssey app, also available on YouTube and Twitch at youtube.com/ESPN1320, twitch.tv/ESPN1320. And that's the housekeeping to start the program. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's Wednesday. I almost lost track of the days. Ooh.
It's tough when we don't have a Monday.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I remember one time coming into work like on a Wednesday because we had the first 2 days off, and I saw someone was like, "Oh, how was your weekend?" I was like, "Well, no, we're way too far out for that. Never mind. That was dumb.
Don't ask me."
Yeah, I said I apologize. Like, never mind. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, no, it's Wednesday. Didn't rain as much today, which is nice coming in. But
I'm out on rain. I decided
people don't actually like the rain. They like to look at the rain.
The rain is like, I was thinking about this last night because I like the rain from a theoretical standpoint.
That's what I'm saying.
On Monday, for example, it was rainy outside. My wife and I sat inside all day and we read books and we turned some like jazz lo-fi stuff on the TV and hung out all day. It was great. But when you own a house, it's a little bit different because I'm like, was that a drip? Is that a drip somewhere? Because we've had a couple of leak issues in the house, so I'm just constantly paranoid now. And I don't get to relax, and people are like, oh, I love the calming sound of the rain. I'm like, no, not for me. I get up every 30 minutes. I walk around and make sure that there's nothing dripping in my house. I'm out on rain. Rain is like, it's necessary. I understand the necessity of rain. I don't
out of
wanna,
the drought, I believe.
Yes, correct. I'm more thumbs down on a drought than I am on rain. And I understand how the water cycle works. Like I'm it, precipitation and then evaporation.
We'll get to that segment this summer.
Clouds, rain, like we're on it. We got it.
I got to see in that class.
Right. The rain now could have rolled off a dinosaur's back, et cetera, et cetera. It's all the same water, which is kind of nuts. But anyways, different thing. So I understand the necessity of it, but rain is kind of like free throws at the end of a basketball game, where it's a 5-point game with 20 seconds left and the team is still fouling.
Oh, and we're just wasting time here.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, I get why. Like, I get why the team needs to do this, just in case a guy misses 2 and they get a 3, and then the guy misses 2 more.
Yeah.
Do you have a chance? Like, I get why it needs to happen.
I don't want to be there when it happens, though.
Exactly.
I don't want to be there for it. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Nobody likes being out in the rain. All right. Because, yeah, you have your umbrella.
They do their life.
You like staying inside and looking at the rain. That's just what it is, and it's fine. But, yeah, the rain is overrated.
I also don't want to be wet. Like, I went to the grocery store yesterday to restock some stuff in our drink fridge, and I'm at the grocery store, and it's raining, and I gotta all right, I gotta put a rain jacket on.
Through aisle 6, you're all squeak.
Right, I sound like an idiot, and then I'm carrying stuff back to my car, and then it's raining, and I gotta get the car open, and then I gotta put the stuff in the car, then I gotta close the car, I gotta put the cart back because I am a good person. I always put the cart back in the cart rack. And
looking at the camera like you're trying to prove it to us or something.
Yeah, no, I am.
We believe you, pal. It's fine.
I want to admonish the people who don't do that.
Yeah.
If you leave your cart up on the curb, if you stick it up on the curb or planter or whatever is there, you're a bad person.
Harsh, but I'm not gonna fight you.
No, you are.
I take my cart to the whatever, the rack or whatever. So
every time.
Yeah.
Every time. It's the right thing to do. It's easy to do. It takes you 30 extra seconds out of your day to do the right thing. Be a good person. Put your damn carts back. Anyways, so I do that because good person. We've established that. So, and then I have to go back to the car, and now I'm all like, I'm wet. I'm in the car. Now I got to decide: do I take my rain jacket off because it's wet? But then I got to put it back on when I get to work because I got to walk back into the.
It's just the whole thing. Kyle's out on rain,
dude.
Guys.
I'm out on rain. I decided that last night.
Dude, I almost
as a homeowner,
slipped
thumbs down
yesterday.
You almost slipped.
Yeah,
Jesus, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, come on,
out, man. It gets spooky. I didn't have the right type of shoes on. Like I wasn't ready. So
man, you're gonna get Joe some non-slip shoes.
Yeah. This is the last time we almost slipped.
When was the last time?
There's no way you guys haven't almost. It's so slippery.
No, because I'm careful when I walk when it's wet.
Yeah, Joe's out there
understanding
on the edge. Yeah.
When was the last time I slipped?
I probably shouldn't have been skipping. That probably would have helped.
Why were you skipping?
I wasn't actually skipping.
Time for Joe's lap.
All right.
Time for Joe's daily
Good
lap.
Lord.
Shout out Joe Brazil.
All right. Sports, I promise. Jesse's over there. I'm Kyle. That's Joe. We're the Jump. We're hanging out with you until 9.
The Kings slipped into CBS's
Come on.
last place ranking in their front office ranking.
That's air horns for you, not the Kings.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so CBS Sports did a front office rankings, and the Kings are 30th. And I don't want to parse out what front office is actually bad. I don't want to go.
We're not going to break down why we think the Pelicans should be last compared to the Kings.
Correct.
Or anything like that. Yes. Correct. That's not what this is about.
We could, but we're not going to.
Yes. No.
I think right now it's super easy because we talk about this quite a bit. I think a lot of things that happen in sports, both in sports talk and in the way that teams evaluate, I think a lot of it comes down to laziness because it's easy to just fall back on a thing and that is widely perceived, and you just go to that thing because
it's what you know.
Yeah, you're never gonna as a front office, you're gonna draft a quarterback first, even if you don't think that quarterback's the first overall pick, because you know what, nobody's gonna blame you for drafting a quarterback.
It's kind of the thing with the Raiders, not apples to apples, but there's people that are like, oh, I wouldn't know. I don't know if I would draft Fernando Mendoza 1 or if
Right.
he'd go for 1 last year.
But they're going to do it.
Yep.
Because that's just the thing we all know to do. And so I think right now the Kings are in a place where it's just super easy to not invite Maxime Reynaud to All-Star Weekend and to invite some guy from the Spurs instead. It's just easy to do that. It's easy when you're making your CBS Sports CBS Sports front office rankings to just go, all right, Kings are last. And I think that's kind of what they've, but while I call that lazy, I also have a hard time blaming whoever does that.
Yeah, no, you texted me the rankings yesterday, and I was like, oh, I wonder who's last, knowing very much who was last.
Right.
But also, my first thought after that is, I wonder if there's a tax to what Scott Perry's doing right now from the last regime and the moves that they've made. Because you like, we can have a broader conversation about like what he's done so far this year, but like, how much can you really blame Scott Perry for not being able to move off of Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, or like DeMar DeRozan, those vets that have been here?
Sure.
Like, I don't think anyone here in the Chatty House, just Kings fans in general, would have wanted him to attach a first-round pick to any of those players to get him out of here. And it seems nobody wanted Jakob Poeltl here. So just kind of your hands are tied there. And I think the Kings, I mean, on the outside looking at like from the national writers and the media, it's kind of like, yeah, you look at the roster and it's horrible. Like it doesn't make sense at all or anything like that. But I mean, like I said, part of that is the last regime's fault and not Scott Perry's. But then you look at the other side and it's like, hey, he signed Doug Christie to a 2-year contract. That was kind of weird. He signed Dennis Schroeder and he seemed kind of keen on that. That didn't work out. Already got rid of him. Had attached Keon Ellis to him when it seemed like you wanted a first-round pick for Keon. So is there a Kings, like a tax for Scott Perry and the things he's doing? Why they got to be last? Sure. But also, I can't necessarily look at what you've done this season and be like, no, he's actually done pretty well for himself so far.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why this is where I have a hard time blaming anybody. Because you could say that a more effective front office or a more nimble GM would have gotten a pick for Keon Ellis. They may not have signed Dennis Schroeder because they were going to sign Russell Westbrook anyway. You could say, man, okay, Maxime Reynaud in the second round's been a nice find. Dylan Cardwell undrafted. Seems like a nice find. But you traded up into the first round for Nick Clifford, who may or may not be a rotational NBA player. And outside of that, there's not I think that's where I think I'm agreeing with you. I think I'm trying to get there in a roundabout way where you call it a tax. I think it's the situation that Scott Perry in the front office stepped into.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's the first thing that I think of, but also like you just kind of look beneath the surface of what they've done this season. It's like, no, there's kind of justification for why they're there.
No, I totally, right. But on the other hand, we heard time and time again that Scott Perry's the right guy to take over this job. Scott Perry's the right guy to oversee this. And so far, I feel like any generic GM could have done what Scott Perry and his front office have done.
Yeah, you haven't.
I don't
done
like. There's
much.
nothing. Right. There's nothing that's been like, wow, what a free, again. Maybe Dylan Cardwell becomes an all-star, but again, we're not talking about projecting this down the line. We're talking about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And right now, the Kings are the worst team in the sport, and their GM overtook this situation and has done really nothing. The best thing he did was get out from under the contract that he signed Dennis Schroeder to, and then he had to attach Keon Ellis, who was an asset that half the league was calling about, and he had to attach Keon Ellis to get off that contract. Like that's poor management. That's bad.
Yeah, and real quick with Keon Ellis, like it was like, oh yeah, the Kings want a first-round pick, and kind of the thought was, how are you going to get a first-round pick for Keon Ellis? I kind of blame the Kings in a sense for that too, because I don't think they really put themselves in a position where it's like, yeah, you can bargain for a first-round pick here. Like the way you handle this contract going into the season was like, oh yeah, like it's not beneficial for Keon. The way you handled his minutes is not beneficial for Keon. Like, how are you going to get a first-round pick for a guy you're not really playing off your bench at all?
Sure.
And maybe he wasn't playing well, but again, like if you want a first-round pick for that guy, how exactly do you think you're going to obtain that with the way you've handled the situation so far?
Well, the whole thing with that was they picked up his option to give themselves more money to sign Dennis Schroeder. And then they had to attach Keon to Schroeder to get off him. So that's where I am, because again, I have been in this market since 2011. And I've followed the Kings since
freshman year of high school.
Shut up. And I've been doing media in this market, I should say, since 2011. And I always bristle whenever somebody puts the Kings 30th in something. My initial reaction is always like, because you pick that up. You pick up that like,
you can go back
Sacramento versus everybody type of thing. That's my initial reaction, but then I start going through it and I start thinking about it, and it's like, all right, not to fully judge Scott Perry. This is not a projection of what the next 5 years are going to look like.
Just talking about just the rankings and what it is right now.
Where we stand right now, one day before the second half of the season starts. The second half of the season with 26 games left.
Second part.
The second part of the season, the post All-Star
the second
break
act
stretch. And yeah, I don't really have a great argument against it. You could, I guess, say that the Pelicans gave up an unprotected first round pick for Derek Queen, but at least Derek Queen's good.
Yeah.
At least he can play. So I don't really have anything.
Well, that thing you talk about too, where it's just kind of like lazy, like for people to put the Kings there. Like we've seen it before, like the Beam team year where they were going to the playoffs. Like nobody really gave that team a shot outside of Sacramento. So we've seen where like teams just really don't give the Kings a chance or anything like that. I mean, it didn't end well in the end, but point being, it's just teams just people tend to look down on this team a lot. Zebra in the chatio says, we forget DeAndre Hunter? I don't think we did. I'm not sure what they want to do with DeAndre Hunter, though. Scott Perry was at his press.
It is inconsequential.
Yeah, and Scott Perry was at his press conference talking about, we like what he does, but also he's an expiring next year. So if he doesn't work out, we got flexibility there. So they're not really tied to him. So I'm not necessarily going to be like, locked in.
That move doesn't move the needle enough.
He's a pillar. He exemplifies the pillars.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. I take it all back. Top five front office?
All I'm saying is DeAndre Hunter exemplifies one of the pillars. I'm not sure
Allegedly.
which one. I'm not sure
Allegedly.
which one.
No, it's all of them. You can't just do one.
I guess.
You got to be all six. No, we're not forgetting about DeAndre Hunter, but in the grand scheme of this, is that something that changes what the Kings front office has done this season? It doesn't for me. It doesn't. They didn't acquire a star. They didn't even acquire a player like John Morant, who is, I wouldn't call him a star at this point, but at least has that potential. Like, okay, they got a rotation player in DeAndre Hunter. That's cool. A rotation player who might not even be on the team in 2027 when all of this is supposed to take off.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I can't get there. They're the worst team in the sport. They didn't get off any of the bad deals. And so far, it looks like, again, so far as where we sit on February 18th, it looks like we're just going to do this same thing next year.
It's kind of scary.
It is. The same thing next year with hopefully a top 3 pick.
That's kind of the saving grace here, is that maybe you're able to land a top 3 pick. And when we say top 3, we actually mean top 2.
Yeah.
Because maybe that guy's able to make a difference. We're not talking about, they're back in the plan or anything like that, but at least you're not 12-44 right now. But I mean, I'm not out on Scott Perry or anything like that. I think
same.
The moves that he's made so far have been questionable. We'll talk about Doug in a bit, but I just don't love the handling of that. The Dennis Schroeder move was bad, but again, it's year one. It was going to be ugly, and you just kind of got to put it into perspective a bit. Like we talked about it last week. Like I think this is a 5-year job for Scott Perry, no matter what, where you just kind of have to let him see it through, because the first few years are going to be really ugly.
They took over a front office that needed to be fired, a front office that had done a horrible job of roster management.
You took over probably the worst situation in the league, unless you look at Brooklyn that way.
And even then, at least Brooklyn had cap space to take on money and to acquire assets. Scott Perry stepped into a horrible situation where I don't think there was anything that they were going to do this season outside of be awesome at basketball, where they were going to climb out of that. My concern is that going into next season, and again, I don't care what CBS Sports has to say here. What CBS Sports does with their rankings doesn't affect what the Kings are doing or how the Kings should operate. I want to make that really clear. This is one thing that we're
Scott's in the front office right now. You guys, you see this? We're at 30th. We got to make the move.
Did you see what? Hang on. Let me
It's
find
time.
whoever wrote this. Hang on. God, this is so many words. Sam Quinn from CBS Sports doesn't think we're doing a good job. Like what they have to do now to get out of this, because I don't think there's anything they're going to be able to do short of acquiring real assets to get off of the Domantas Sabonis contract, acquiring an asset to get off of Zach LaVine's expiring contract. That's what they're going to have to do to start showing that they're actually rebuilding and to get out of 30th, because right now they're just a horrible basketball team.
Yeah.
And it's noted, and I think this is worth noting, they weren't trying to be horrible.
That's another thing.
There wasn't a mandate inside, and James Ham, our Kings insider, host of the Locked On Kings podcast, has noted this. There was not some mandate from inside the building that they had to make the play-in this year. But I think Scott Perry looked at it and kind of knew what it was and knew that getting off some of these deals was going to be tough. So you just try and be competitive in the meantime. Try and be competitive for the next couple of years, see what you've got, and then get off those contracts in 2027 and start to move forward from there. I really think that was the plan. And it went super sideways. Okay, that drops you to 30th. But now there actually has to be steps forward in a rebuild that go beyond being awful.
Yeah, I would really hate, and it'd be really concerning, I think, if you went into this next season with kind of the same roster plus AJ DeBonta, Darren Peterson, and it's their top 5 pick. I think come this offseason, like you got the pass where it's like, all right, well, it's not necessarily his team. It's tough to get off of these deals, but it does get to a point where it's like you can't just waste the first 2 years of your tenure here.
Right.
Like you do have to.
You don't get credit for just letting the clock run out.
Yes, and like it makes sense. It's logical, valid explanation. Like sure, it takes 2 to tango. It's 2 people to make a deal, all that nonsense. But also, like there's GMs who get deals done in this league, and you kind of got to be one of them here.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go into the regular season game 1 where it's like, oh yeah, we got the same roster and the same players, just out of the draft pick here. Like I'd like to see a little bit more change.
916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. Our guy Ryan wants to chime in. And
Ryan.
I think Ryan is going to touch on the next layer of this conversation. Ryan, you're on the jump. What's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good. I was calling because whether it's fair or not, I think the benefit for any employee that works for the Kings in the front office and on the basketball side, no matter what decisions happen and how much they may backfire, I think everyone else in the league looks at it as how much did that move come from Vivek? I refuse to believe that Scott Perry went into this season thinking, yes, this team is ready to make a run. They're a Dennis Schroeder away from making an impact and getting to the play-in / playoffs. Doug Christie is the right guy for this job, and he's going to push us to the next level. I truly believe that every bad decision that the Kings make, the rest of us and the rest of the league look at it as, well, how much of it was their decision and how much of it was a Vivek decision? And I think that is going to be an ongoing problem that we have with this team as long as Vivek owns it.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, I think that may be part of it for sure.
I think that last part where he says that it'll be part of the conversation as long as he owns the team. I think he'll be part of the conversation until they start winning again.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is spot on. We can look as far. We don't have to go far. We can go to Golden State for this, where Joe Lacob for a decade was God. He was the man. He was dumping a bunch of money into the team. Steph Curry is awesome. Draymond, Clay. They got Kevin Durant. Like, oh my God, look at the Warriors. Look at Joe Lacob. He has turned that franchise around, because remember the Warriors, and I'm realizing now, if you're like 21, you probably don't have a great recollection of when the Warriors were the laughing stock of the league, which they were. But Joe Lacob was the man during that stretch. Go ask a Warriors fan today how they feel about Joe Lacob.
Not great, I'm assuming.
Not great, because now all the reporting's coming out about how he was meddling in the Jonathan Kuminga situation, and how he's the one overseeing draft picks, and how we're starting to get all that news about Joe Lacob having his hands on the situation in Golden State, and people are starting to turn on him. So to your point, I am 100% with you. This is not going to be a problem as long as Vivek owns the team. If when the Kings draft Aaron Peterson and he becomes a number one guy and is just that dude, and Keegan Murray slots into a better role, and Nate Clifford slots into a better role, and they're not very good next year. Man, they got another top 7 pick, and that player's good. And they make a trade, and now they have, like, if this is a team that by 2029 is winning a bunch of games and is going into the season expecting to be a playoff team, or maybe 2030 is expecting to be a playoff team going in, and man, if you really squint, you can see a title contender. Vivek's not getting blame. He's not getting credit.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, you go and finish with that.
But I do think right now, where we sit again today on February 18th, I do think that plays a role into how people evaluate the Kings.
Well, I mean, right or wrong, it's kind of like, yeah, he's part of that last regime and part of that tax, like I was talking about. Why are Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan here? And I think everyone kind of looks at one person as being a big part of that and being the owner. But, I mean, I don't think that from how it's been talked about since Scott Perry's been hired, I don't think that Vivek really has a big hand in what's going on. Again, that's just the thought. Maybe he does. But for me, again, I don't think he does right now.
I don't either.
Looking at the Doug Christie thing, people might be like, oh, well, he hired Vivek's guy. The way I see the Doug Christie hiring today is Scott Perry figured the next 2 years weren't going to be great. This was a tough job to give someone else. Let Doug see what he can do the next couple of years. And if he can handle it, great. He's going to be the coach going forward. If not, 2027, we'll find the right guy.
It buys him time.
Yeah.
I think Damian made this point the other day. Maybe Kenny. One of D'Lo or KC, I think, made this point the other day.
Great show. 2-6.
Really good show. D'Lo and KC, 2-6. Tap in. And the Doug Christie hire, at best, works. And Doug is this awesome coach. At worst, it allows Scott Perry to go, oh, hey, all right, hey, those 2 years, that's not, Doug wasn't the guy. Let me get a new guy in here. It just buys him time. Everything, this is a point that Kevin Clark from ESPN makes all the time. Everything a GM does is about job security and about trying to maintain job security. And most of the time that's winning. Like, so you're doing what it takes to win, because when you win, you're going to have job security. But I think that's what the Doug Christie thing was. I don't personally believe that Scott Perry would have put himself in a position to be a puppet. I don't. I maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm being an idiot. And but I have been.
We're sports fans. We don't know any better.
Yeah, right. But I've been as vocally critical of Vivek Ranadive having his hands in the basketball side is anyone. Like, I would, if I thought that was the case, I would sit here and I would tell you, man, I think that this is the problem. I don't think it's the problem right now. But on the other hand, anybody who thinks that, Ryan, who just called us at 916-909-1320, I have a hard time blaming them. Like, I have a hard time going like, wait, that's wrong.
No, it's part of it.
You have a history, right?
There's players on the roster there's players on the roster where it's like, yes, that was what he that was his move right there.
Yes.
So yeah, like, he's part of it for right now.
Yes.
It's not just what it was in Beam Team year or anything like that. We just want to throw his name and invoke his name.
Yeah, which I know is a thing everybody kind of wants to do. It's the easy conclusion to jump to. I don't blame anybody for doing it, but I don't think that's the case of what's going on right now. But on the other hand, when you go read through why the Kings, and again, this is one person at CBS Sports who ranked the Kings front office last.
Yeah.
When you read through it, and there's an entire paragraph in there about Peja Stojakovic and Vlade Divac and Doug Christie, and wow, is Chris Webber going to be the next hire to get the band back together? Like, yeah, man, that's kind of what
you earned that.
That's the perception, and that starts at the top. But on the other hand, I don't believe the Kings are last right now because of that. I don't think that writer went, hey, this would be the 21st best front office, if not for. I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
And if they start winning, and this is just kind of the nature of being an owner, nobody is going to give Vivek credit.
Not even going to be happy with him, none of that. But he's just going to be out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, which is how it is for most teams. But on the other hand, if this doesn't work, he's going to have people that are very quickly breathing down his neck about it.
Yeah, well, like we said, he's part of the reason why it's gonna take a couple years. Why it's
Yep.
tough to move off Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
What did I just see in the chat? Here says no interview GM hiring, no interview coach hiring. Also, I think he's talking about just kind of the way
Yeah.
the process of Vivek went
Mhm.
about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh yeah, the way they hired Doug Christie and went about that was completely normal or anything like that. Like there
Totally.
are questions about it. There are
Mhm.
questions where maybe
I agree.
it was kind of like, all right, this is Vivek's guy. Like this is what we want, Scott. This is who you need to hire. Again, I think Scott saw it where it's like it's gonna be a tough 2 years. Give Doug a shot and we'll see what happens. Because like again, I don't think you throw in a Will Hardy type
Mhm.
or anything this season. Like, oh yeah, the team's much better or anything like that.
So I actually got in an argument with D'Lo and KC about this when I was on their show.
Uh-huh.
We got in an argument about how I don't like how this process went down. And they were like, the process wasn't that abnormal. And we kind of went through, we got into it. I don't disagree. I'm not even arguing with anybody. I'm not even arguing for the opposite. But I think this conversation leads to somewhere I wanted to go with the Kings second half, because I think that we collectively need to start approaching this a little bit differently. And we'll tell you what it is next on ESPN 1320 Sacramento Sports Leader. Oh, I didn't get to TC. Whoops. TC, hang in there, bro.
But did I just see you're not wrong talking about the process and all that. Would have loved, like I've talked many times about how like yeah, do the interview stuff and hire a coach for 5 years, but they just didn't do that. So I guess we're just going from there, I guess.
Click, clack,
Like if Vivek was like, yeah, I'm gonna hire my guy Scott Perry and he's gonna hire my guy Doug Christie, then yeah, this team is probably cooked again for the next 5 years. But there's also the scenario where no, Scott Perry saw where like, yeah, I'm gonna hire Doug for the next couple of years, see how that goes, and we'll see what happens after that. What you guys got going on, Chatty House? Make sure you guys hit the like button. Good morning, by the way, for those that got in late. Which team needs Tyreek Hill the most? None of them. We got a couple people on Twitch, Jess. We got a couple. Damn, Zavo.
I agree with this. He's not going to, but he should.
The real Miss Mac 10, the real. Shout out to the three of them there right now. We appreciate you guys.
Salute to the Twitchers.
You guys are loyal, I'll say that. Yeah, Stephen, we will be discussing later.
Welcome back to The Jump with Kyle Madsen and Jesse Tapia.
I'm Kyle. That's Jesse. Joe Brazil on the ones and twos.
We got some great rejoins.
Yeah. Zabat. Well, Tame
Every
Impala.
time. Yeah, dude.
I'd love to see it.
I'm enjoying the new rejoiners for sure.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
And shout out to you listening. Shout out to you watching. We appreciate you guys so much. 916-909-1320. 916-909-1320.
All that reminds me, real quick, shout out Laurie.
good.
Right, ran into me, stopped me on Saturday. He's like, "Oh yeah, listen to the show, blah blah blah." It was great. So yeah, shout out Laurie. Listen to the show every day. She said,
Love to see it. Appreciate you, Laurie.
"Yeah, appreciate you guys."
So we've been talking a lot about the Kings front office and just using, again, CBS Sports is not the end-all, be-all of NBA.
Pack it up, guys.
analysis.
Sam Quinn says we suck.
It's over. It's all over. But it just, again, using this as a jumping off point for a conversation about where the Kings front office is. And I think I think you can have a holistic view of this where when I hear front office, I think the current people in the positions. But when you zoom out a little bit, you can have it both ways here. I think you mentioned that this is like a 5-year thing. Like you have to give Scott Perry a real runway here.
Yeah.
Because he inherited a mess. And I fully agree with that. I am on board with that. And then until there's some catastrophic mistake, was the Dennis Schroeder thing bad? Yeah, it wasn't great. But I wouldn't call that a catastrophic mistake. Did they mismanage the Keon Ellis thing a little bit? Yeah, I think so. I think they did. I think that was a mistake. But I wouldn't call that catastrophic. That's not taking Marvin Bagley instead of Luka Doncic, right? Like that's catastrophic. On the other hand, and I think both of these things can be true. You can say Scott Perry inherited a mess and needs some time, but at the same time go, yeah, you also don't get credit for not doing anything.
Yeah.
For not being able to do anything. And maybe the deals weren't out there, but we were told time and time again, well, one of the reasons that Scott Perry's so good is he has all these relationships and he's going to be able to do all this stuff. And like, man, so far, I could have done this. I couldn't have. I'm not that bad. But anybody they hired, had they gone outside the Scott Perry bubble, anybody they hired could have done this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, yeah, you need some time, but also nothing special is happening here.
Ray Smooth in the chatty house says ownership counts as front office. Ask that as a question.
Yeah.
In most cases, it shouldn't.
I agree.
Yeah, like in most cases, like in a perfect world, yeah, no, the ownership should not count as part of the front office or anything like that, because I think you'd hope the ownership's not making moves or just kind of inserting themselves. That's not always the case, but I think when you look at front office and at the best ones, more times than not, yeah, like the ownership's not really having too much of a say.
Yeah, that at least they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But again, I think with the Kings, it's a little bit different because so much of what's happened over the last 13 months, I think can be directly tied back to their owner.
Yeah, no, it's going to take maybe till next year, maybe the season after that, till we're done maybe thinking of discussing Vivek Ranadive, Monty McNair, Wes Wilcox, just what they did to this roster. As long as Zach LaVine, as long as Zach LaVine's here, DeMar DeRozan, that DeMontis Sabonis contract, just things of that nature. It's like, yeah, Scott's still trying to clean it up, but also we're not willing to wait.
I know
a
this
few
is
years for Scott to do anything.
I know this isn't where you were going with this, and this is not the conversation the road I want to go down with this conversation, but the Sabonis contract is a weird one for me because I get why they signed it when they did, and I don't think if they had waited a year it would have turned out a lot different. And it looks bad now, but I also get why it happened when it happened. And so I know this isn't really a thing that we were trying to parse necessarily, but when I look at the things that Monty McNair did wrong and the Monty McNair Wes Wilcox era did wrong, I have a hard time sitting here today and being like, wow, they really botched that DeMontis Sabonis thing.
But they kind of did. I mean, there was questions, not maybe necessarily here in Sacramento, but there were questions outside, like, well, who are you bidding against here for this deal?
Sure.
Why are you paying them all this? And it turns out, yeah, having a $45 million per year guy who doesn't necessarily like putting the ball in the hoop isn't his strong suit. Like, yeah, that's a bad deal. So I guess for what he was at that time, an all NBA player, like, yeah, but then it turned out in the end, nope.
Yeah,
not
it's
a
a
good deal at
bad
all. Yeah.
contract now. But when I look at the list of things that got sideways for the Kings there, I don't even know if that makes the top 5 for me.
I got you.
It's bad now.
Yeah.
Like don't get it twisted. It's not a good contract now. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah. No,
but when you look at the De'Aaron Fox trade and the DeMar DeRozan signing and the it's more the lack of movement than the movement that more sticks out to me than that. Let's get out to the phone line. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. If you'd like to join the conversation, please do. Let's get to our guy, TC. What's up, TC? You're on the jump.
Man, top of the morning, man, with my 2 dudes.
What's
Jesse
up,
and Kyle, what's up, bro?
What's up, TC?
Hey, just vibing, bro. So I kind of want to come from a different angle. So when I start with this situation, as far as with the Vivek with his hands on, I'm kind of in the boat where it's like he'll let you do what you do, bro, until you show him different. Like Monty McNair, right? So Monty McNair, do what you do. We got Beam Team, but you didn't really do nothing under that. You want to be patient. You was trying to wait for the right deal, not trying to get people in. And then the season went array, right? And back to Vivek again. If Vivek had a hand, I know everybody. You can't be naive, but if he had a hand, don't you feel like Mark Jackson would have been here? I know Doug is here, but like Mark, you know what I mean? Like a guy that he really wanted. Scott Perry is doing this. He's giving Scott Perry time to do what Scott Perry needs to do, right? As far as the players that need to come in, I said it yesterday with D'Lo and KC. The younger generation is leaning heavy on Doug. I'm with you, Jesse, on the 2 years, a couple years to see what he can do. Next year will be like the whole year. Hey, is Doug really a good coach? We got a bunch of young cats in, and we're going to kind of run from there. But as far as Vivek, bro, I think he's falling back and letting Perry do his thing, and he jumps in once he sees, like, the team isn't staying on a steady path like Monty was. You get me? He put the team together, but he kind of sat still and just waited, and it didn't make sense.
Thanks, TC.
Appreciate you, TC. So that's also an issue. If your GM doesn't be Monty McNair, just generic owner, generic GM. If your GM isn't doing the job you want him to do or doing it as well, or just kind of not producing action, you don't jump in and do it yourself.
Correct.
You never do. You never do that. You never do. You know what you do? You fire him.
Yes.
You fire him into the sun.
Yes.
All right, we're done with you. And then you hire the next basketball guy to do basketball things.
Correct.
You don't jump in and be like, no, give me DeMar DeRozan. No, get me Zach LaVine. No, you stay out the way. I get that you don't love what's going on, but you do not jump in under any circumstances because, I don't mean to be disrespectful to these owners, but they're guys with a lot of money, not necessarily a lot of basketball experience or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you can't just jump in and be like, no, this is the move. You don't know if this is the move you need to make. You need to hire someone who's been in these situations, that knows how the league works, that knows how these players work, things like that. You let them make the moves at all times. And if the guy you have right there isn't doing the job, get him out of there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But after that, yes, you do not be like, yeah, no, get me Zach LaVine, get me DeMar DeRozan. Because that's how we get to this point. That's how we have these conversations about you having the worst front office in the league. That's how we talk about Doug Christie, Scott Perry, and those guys.
Yep.
That's how we get to this point.
Yep. Yeah. I don't really have anything to add to that. You fire the GM if that's the case.
Yeah.
And then you hire somebody else.
Every time.
And you don't hit the panic button because De'Aaron Fox wants out.
Fine. We'll wait till the offseason.
Yes.
You're out of here, Monty,
and let a different GM oversee that.
But you do not step in under any circumstances, no matter what.
Yeah. I'm with you. TC also brought up next year is when we'll see about Doug and if he's a good coach, because that's the thing is a lot of people are giving Doug Christie a pass for this year and saying, man, this year doesn't count. Nothing is real. The team is poorly constructed. They're injured. No coach could get this team to X amount of wins. Cool. So next year's the year? Next year's different how?
The top pick is here.
Okay, and what is that? How does the coach affect that?
The top pick is here.
And how does
that's all I have for you. Yeah, that's literally all I have.
So the
if you're searching for that, if you're going that way, because I'm not. Yeah, I'm with you here.
Okay, so next year's the year for to prove what? To win? The expectation next year is to win?
If Doug Christie wins 20 to 25 games, are we like, yes, 5-year
Right.
extension?
Right.
Because nobody's expecting that team to be sniffing the plan at all or any 500 record at all.
Not even close.
Mm-mm.
And so this goes back to where we talk about the development of the young players, or the young guys developing. They develop in the offseason. What develop the young guys means is play the young players. I don't know if he's going to have a choice again next year, because what's happening now, I don't believe is necessarily a choice. Zach LaVine's out for the year. Domantas Sabonis has got a bulky knee. Keegan Murray's got a shoulder. Like, this is that they don't have they've traded Keon Ellis, they've traded Dennis Schroeder. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So if this is about developing the young players, so coach gets credit now for just the letting players who are 26 and under run around on the court. That's not coaching to me.
Yeah. And that other James in the chat house says, I need to see growth from the young guys. That's it. Wins and losses don't matter to me until the team has a direction. Doug gets a pass. So I ask that other James, 916-909-1320, if you want to call in, what would it take if you're giving Doug a pass right now? And you can, it's fine. But what would it take for Doug to get a contract extension next season then? Because right now he's on a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year team option, and the 3rd-year team option is basically nothing. It's dust to me. Because if you if you think Doug is the guy, you're going to give him a deal going into that year rather than letting him play out that deal.
Yeah,
so I guess
agree.
if you're giving him a pass, what does Doug need to do next season for you to be like, yes, he's the guy? Like, what are you looking for? Because again, this team isn't going to sniff 41 and 41.
Mm-hmm.
They might not even sniff 30 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Doug need to do next season for you to be like, yes, he's the guy, give him a deal?
And this goes back to something that you have brought up for weeks, months even. I'm going to go months. If the response to that is, well, we have to see an establishment of culture and a system on offense and a system on defense and a play style. Well, that hasn't happened at all this year. We're 56 games into this.
Yeah, we can talk about how Doug has had, bad resources. It's been all up against them, things like that, whatever you want to say. Because you're not even necessarily wrong. But also, it is a bit of a issue / question mark that.
Question mark is a better way to put it.
Yeah, a bit of a question mark where we get 2 weeks into the season. It's like, oh, yeah, they're not bought into anything he's talking about right now.
Right.
Not the entire team, but some of these guys on this team. Nobody is bought in. Right. The things that Doug maybe can control or kind of work for his way, they didn't go his way this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about, yes, he's got the vets and the guys who don't want to be there and things of that nature. All that stuff is fine. But again, I need my coach to get whoever's here still bought in. I don't need you to win 50 games, but there's been no identity. There's been nothing so far.
Yes. That's the question mark for me. And that's a question mark that I need to see answered by next year.
Uh-huh.
And if the team doesn't need to see it answered by next year, I go back to the question that you brought up for months now. If this is not a 2-year stint and out, then where was the 4 or 5 year deal to begin with?
Many people are asking on the jump.
So that's where all of this kind of comes full circle to the offseason and where Doug Christie factors into this. Again, I don't think the expectation was. Well, I think there was an expectation to win some games this year. I think that got sideways in ways that you could say, that's not on the coach. And I think that's fair.
Mm.
But on the other hand, okay, so next year, is there a wins marker that we're getting to? Does that have to be 28, 25? You just have to hit your over, whatever Vegas sets it at? Does Dylan Cardwell or Maxime Reynaud or Nick Clifford have to become an all-star?
And that's the thing too. Like, how much are you expecting out of these young guys? That other James back in the chat house says the young guys developing and looking towards that next step. How much development are you expecting to get out of Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell, Nick Clifford? Like, how many wins are you expecting to get out of that? Or just what do you expect them to become?
And if those guys go,
because right now I see them as like, oh yeah, their ceilings are probably just decent role players off the bench at this point.
But if those guys go, I think you're probably right on that. I wouldn't say ceiling. I think that's the likely outcome. At least that's the outcome I'm leaning towards for them. They're quality role players, which is not a bad thing.
Like in terms of maximizing impact and all that. Yeah. Yep.
But here's my let's say Nick Clifford goes into this offseason and works his tail off at shooting the three. Just is all about the three ball this offseason. And next season makes 30% of his threes on 6 attempts a game. And the Kings win 20. Are we going, wow, look at the development from Nick. Doug did a great job because Nick Clifford went into the offseason and worked his ass off at shooting 3-point shots. So that's what, when you say the development of young players, to me, that means they're just playing.
Yeah.
And development, to me, because I agree with that sentiment, but we have to define what that means. And development of young players, to me, is development within whatever system it is you're running. I cannot have another year. I say I cannot have another year like it matters.
Kyle will not stand for it.
I will not stand for this. We can't have another year, in my opinion, where Doug doesn't care about offense. James, our Kings insider, James Ham, host of the Locked On Kings podcast, subscriber of your podcast. He always says that Doug will not talk about offense in press conferences. Don't care about offense. Don't care about offense. All right, well, brother, next year, I need you to care about offense. I need to see what this is going to start to look like.
Also a question mark too, where you have a group of guys here who aren't able to play the way that you want to, and you haven't adapted to that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair or foul, whatever. Like I said, it's a question mark. Zach LaVine said it to anyone who was blue till he's blue in the face this season. Yeah, he wants us to play this way, but we just don't have the guys for that. I don't know who that's a strike on. Is that a strike on the players or Doug Christie? But again, that's just another question mark.
No. Is that a strike on Scott Perry or Doug Christie?
Well, again,
that's the conversation that needs to be had because you can't have it both ways. Doug is defense. We're going to play defense. We're going to play defense. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay, great. Then why do you suck on defense?
Yeah. But also,
and why are you terrible on defense?
Zach LaVine's not here because of Scott Perry, though.
No, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. But this is not a Zach LaVine Zach LaVine is not the reason the Kings defense is bad.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just talking about like just the guys that you have a group of guys here that aren't able to play the way that you want.
Okay. So let me finish and see if that's still where we're going. Your defense is bad. And the coach is like, we're going to focus on defense. Your defense is still bad. So you have two options to me. One, the coaching staff is not doing a good enough job. Or two, the front office did not do a good enough job. Because if you're still bad at defense and you're playing all these young players, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell, and your defense is still really, really bad, to me, there's a problem with one of those two things. And you could say, well, Kyle, DeMar DeRozan is not a Scott Perry addition. The rotations are so out of whack right now. I can't even. Devin Carter was not a Scott Perry addition. So no, these aren't all Scott Perry guys. So we can't say it. Okay, then that's fine. We can eliminate that. Then it goes to the coaching staff. And if your coaching staff is doing this development, this establishing culture, all of these boxes that we're looking for them to check, we would start seeing improvement. We would start seeing like, man, that's 3 really good defensive games in a row for the Kings. And I have not gotten there at all this year. There's been moments, but I think that's just a matter of all these guys being in the NBA. Like, you're just going to have a moment or two because you're one of the best basketball players on the planet.
And I think what I'm trying to say is you're not going to have the guys this season where you're going to see any sort of improvement or progress, I guess, where it's like, oh yeah, Doug wanted to play 94.
Why?
Excuse me, or what? Because they're just not those guys. You don't have those guys. They don't exist. You got vets on this team. Okay. You don't know what Maxime Reynaud. You just don't know who they are yet. And the vets, you do know who they are. They're not those guys.
So the coaching staff didn't do a good enough job of maximizing the talent they have.
That's why that's kind of my question. Did Doug Christie? Is it more of the guys not buying in, or is it Doug Christie not adapting to the talent he has and kind of working with the skill set that he has in front of him, rather than no, we're going to play 94 feet and that's what it is. Like, that's kind of my question here. Like, who gets the strike for that? Is it for the guys who, again, have never been expected to play that way in their career, never been thought of that way in their career? Are we mad at them for not playing that way, or are we upset at the coach for not adapting to this talent and trying to get wins that way?
It's the second thing for me. It's the second thing because everybody knew what this roster was going into the year.
It wasn't just Zach LaVine. I think we heard things from Domantas Sabonis too about the way he wanted to play in the 94 feet. So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not just the Zach LaVine thing. I'm talking about just the players on this roster. Zach LaVine is just the name right now.
Well, like they brought in Dennis Schroeder specifically to do that, and then they just never did it with any kind of consistency. Like I love the idea, and that's why. Okay, cool. You get a second year. None of this is about everybody needs to go. Like we're just not. I'm not at that stage yet. I am the type of person who will get there very quickly. But I'm not there yet because I do understand. I do think there's validity to this idea that, like, what do you want the coach to do? What did you want Scott Perry to do? Like, they just can't. Scott Perry, the moves weren't there to be made. And for Doug, the players weren't there. Okay, fine. I will buy all of that. But I'm not buying that next year. I'm sorry.
Listen, the thing, we can't all just sit here for a couple years and wait there.
That's it.
Like that doesn't work here as well.
If that's the case, if we're all just going to sit on our hands and go, okay, well, they were going to suck anyway, then what did we spend all offseason talking about?
Tune into The Jump, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 in 2027.
Right. Like, I don't do that. Stay here.
Oh, yeah, that was a joke.
But that's where I'm trying to get is okay, I don't even blame if you say there was no chance anybody was going to do anything this year. Cool. Then there needs to be something next year. Because I have a hard time believing that there's an awesome coaching staff in the league that would not have the Kings doing something at least a little bit different next year.
Yeah.
A little bit better, I should say. And maybe both, different and better. And I've said it time and time again, and I think this is going to be a common through line of the first couple of years I was here was length and athleticism, defensive-minded players, toughness. They need more of that. Right. That was the big talking point. Now I think the common through line is going to be that none of this, so much of this goes away if they get the number 1 pick. So much of this, because now we start looking forward. Now we start going, okay, here's a building block. This guy, what does he look like with Keegan Murray? What does he look like with Dylan Cardwell, Maxime Renault? How does that work? What does he look like? Can he play next to Nate Clifford? Okay, there's the backcourt of the future. Nice. That's what the conversation becomes. And that's all if they get the number 5 pick. Or if they
get the number 5 pick. Oh, buddy. You're going to get a great – you can get a great player, but just please get a top 2 pick.
Yeah.
Just please.
Do whatever you can. Pay whoever you got to pay.
Yeah.
To get the lottery in your favor.
This team
do whatever the Mavs did.
The guy.
To get the lottery in your favor.
Throw the envelope in the fridge for the first couple hours before the lottery, whatever you're going to do. Yeah.
But that's where I think a lot of this goes, and it's where I've been trying to get all morning, and I think thanks to you guys on the phones and thanks to you guys in the chatty house, I think we're having a good conversation. But so much of what I want to do in the second half of this year is start looking ahead, because everything we've talked about today is backwards. Everything we've talked about today is how did they get here? No, they can't do this because they've got this guy. No, they can't do this. Okay, fine. We're here. We're in this now. This is the reality we're in. And I think there's room for hypotheticals, and there's room for what if they had done this, and there's room for looking ahead to the offseason and hypotheticals in the offseason and hypotheticals in the draft. And like there's room for all of that. But I don't know how much value there is in I shouldn't say value. I don't know. I think I'm tapped out on looking backwards. And I think I would like to, again, I don't think it's necessarily going to be pretty moving forwards. But when we talk about development and the front office and Doug Christie, it's like, all right, what's next? Because what has happened to this point has been a mess. We know that. Okay, but now what's the next step?
Yeah. But if he does nothing this offseason too, and we're kind of same guys plus AJ, it's kind of like we're going to be drawn back to that conversation, though, I feel.
A little bit.
Maybe we're not. And maybe we're just feeling like, no, that's on Scott. Like it's time for him to move on from these guys. Like just got to make something happen. But again, I wonder if that'll just kind of resurface again around that time. Again, because how much time does he get for Monty's roster?
If they get a top 2 pick, it's going to be excitement. We'll be stoked. Summer league will matter. preseason will matter, regular season will matter. If they are, what are they right now? 12-44?
12-44, I believe.
If they're 12-44 next season, yeah, that top 2 pick thing goes out the window a little bit. I don't think people will be thrilled that they're 12-44 still. Just to be totally frank.
No, if they're 12-44, let's be real. We're probably talking about Doug's not going to be the coach the year after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. But I think for a time, when you talk about
Yeah, there would be a honeymoon period after you draft the guy.
Yes, 1,000%.
Mhm.
That's Jesse. I'm Kyle. Joe Brazil's over there. We're the Jump. We're hanging out with you until 9 a.m. here on ESPN 1320. We've got. We didn't get to the Sac State stuff yesterday, and I have a couple of quick thoughts on Sac State joining the MAC that I want to get to. Is the NFL trying to kill the 49ers? We'll answer that question. And then Con Knipple said one of the wildest things I've ever heard an NBA player say. We'll talk about it next on The Jump. It's ESPN 1320, Sacramento Sports Center. Good luck. We're all counting on you. Hang on, I'm hitting retweet on these. There you go. Hi, everyone. Maybe. Hell yeah. Shout out to Mac.
I was watching some Olympics yesterday, and I was like, man, I wonder when snowboarding slope style is, because that stuff is really fun. 2 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, bro, you got no shot.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I guess I'll watch the highlights.
What? I hope Jesse's iPad isn't going to die now. All right, we're locked in. We got Canada and Czechia back on.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of nuts that Sidney Crosby's still good at hockey. Yeah, I agree. And people coming for Sean Cunningham in the chat, that's crazy. That's the homie.
That is crazy.
Sean's with us.
Yeah, we like Sean.
That's crazy.
Sean's with us.
Kyle,
I don't know what it said, but
is-
Sean's with us.
Is Ted Lasso a emotional show, or am I feel it because
I'm the wrong person to ask.
okay, well,
Bob.
my answer is yes. I'm saying that it is.
Yeah, it's a Bill Lawrence
Dude,
show.
it's been like getting to me.
Yeah, man.
Like big time.
Yeah.
It's great though. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's quality television.
Kyle would probably cry during Is It Cake if it was the right scene.
All right. See,
I can't believe it was cake. I could have sworn it wasn't.
no, it's not that. It's when the people start talking about like how meaningful it is for them to win that money.
Yeah, no. Well,
and
that's
how
the thing.
like they can finally show their parents that what they're doing is worth it. I'm like,
See?
dang,
As
man.
we've gotten
See?
older, I've
there's,
learned.
there's levels.
This is all to say I've cried at Is It Cake. No, what are you saying?
No, as I've gotten older, I've developed emotions as well. It's like there's certain things. It's like, oh wow, why am I feeling emotional about this? Before you speak, oh, I'll just watch it, whatever. So I was like, no, I actually
Yeah.
empathize with this person.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
There's my-
anything from the Giants run is emotional now at this point. Like, there's so much good stuff from that time.
Mm. Oh yeah. Here, I got it. I got it.
Welcome back to The Jump with Kyle Madsen and Jesse Tapia.
I'm Kyle. That's Jesse. Yeah, I've cried at Is It Cake before. What do you want from me?
You really cried at Is It Cake?
I actually don't know.
Kyle's watching
I
Kitchen
genuinely-
Nightmares, and
Nah. It's usually not anything like that.
there's nothing wrong with being
People
emotional.
With,
by
people
the
with
way.
emotional stories. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I have
I'm
no
just saying
problem
that.
with
Yeah,
it.
because we're talking about like, oh, Is It Cake and
If I
things like that.
if I was
yeah.
one of those weirdos, it's like you can't cry. I wouldn't talk about it on
Oh,
the
yeah.
radio. Wouldn't be very public with the fact that I cry at Amazon commercials.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
I try to stay away from like the dog movies and stuff like that.
the show.
so.
Yeah, dude. I saw the preview for Marley and Me. I'm like, nope. I know the fate of that dog, and I'm out. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I'm the idiot who watched it with his parents.
Oh, come on. See, don't do that. But yeah, Shrinking is another really, really good show that is very emotional. And right now, it talks a lot about like aging and grappling with that and grappling with like your relationships as you get older.
Mhm.
It's really emotional. It's really touching.
Yeah, no, things are emotional. Like I said, I watch shows now where it's like I won't necessarily tear up, but it's like, oh, I feel that in my chest. That weird feeling right there. What is that?
Yeah, dude. I'll tear up though. I'm ready to cry. I think the problem for me is I probably need to cry harder more often than I do.
Yeah.
I just let a couple of tears roll, wipe the tear, and I'm good. I think I need a good, hard, like ugly cry one time.
You know what I do? Like really tugging at my heartstrings or whatever.
Yeah.
Is like watching like I guess
Adrian
like
Peterson highlights.
low key, not the same thing, but maybe the same family. It's just like underdog stories in sports or whatever,
Yeah,
where they overcame it.
absolutely.
It's just like
Yes.
like those things or whatever. Where like the team came together. Not necessarily has nothing to do with the Twins and Four Red Sox or whatever, but just teams like that.
You know what gets me is any movie or video
Damn, Adrian Peterson.
about any video, dude, Adrian Peterson college highlights, any video about a military member coming home from overseas.
Oh yeah,
The ones where they like surprise their kid
yeah.
at a baseball game. There's one where the dad who is back from the military is dressed as an umpire and standing with his back to the infield, and the kid is going out to get second base, like for the grounds crew.
Mhm.
And when he grabs second base, the dad turns around and goes, "Oh, that gets me every time." Or pets
Yeah.
when their person comes home
Yeah.
Dude.
and the dog like freaks out. Oh my god,
Or
I will sob on the air right now.
one for me is like when a professional sports player makes their debut and you see their whole family.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Dude,
mom's
that's a
going
good
crazy
one.
because he had a home run or
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Joe's
Or-
right.
and along those same lines, sports things that make you cry. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. Along those lines, Joe, are the player being called up from AAA
Yeah.
and the manager sitting down in
Yes,
the
yeah, the
office
meeting.
and they tell him,
Those
The
are touch
meeting's
and go
really
though,
good.
because it's like, oh, number one prospect. Let me sit you down real
"Oh
quick.
yeah, no, it's not all."
No,
of them."
yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. Like sometimes you get those videos like, oh, you're going to the league. It's like, yeah, I know, we knew that. But yeah, now the ones you're talking about, like, oh yeah, dude's been in the minors for like 7-6 years,
That's
and
it.
now he's getting the call, and it's like, yeah.
I watched one a few weeks back.
Shout out
The guy
Andre
was like-
Ingram, the guy in the G League who spent.
Oh,
like,
I
Oh
love that
yeah,
story.
yeah,
That was a
yeah,
great
Laker
one.
legend.
Yeah.
So I watched one. It was like a 30-year-old dude, minor leaguer, career minor leaguer, and he sits down in his manager's office, and the manager goes, "Hey, I know you've thrown a lot the last couple of days. Are you good to go today?" And the guy's like, "I can start. Like I'm ready to do like he was ready to go to war for his AAA
Yeah.
manager. Like he's like, whatever you need, coach, or skip or whatever he said." And then the manager's like, "Well, do you think you could give a few innings to to Baltimore or whatever team it was, and the dude's silent. And then the coach is like, "You got the call, like you're going," and the guy just immediately breaks down. It's like, man, that just gets me. It gets me. I just got chills right now.
No, yeah, it's emotional. It's a good time. It's just happy feeling, I guess.
I don't want to get too hang on.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into the sports moments that make you cry too.
I don't want to get too sentimental.
The bad
no,
ones.
that's what's
The
happening.
bad
right now.
ones.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to do all
We're
that.
gonna get back to the Sacramento Kings. Don't worry.
Yeah, watching a regular Kings game, sports moments.
Yeah, Joe's like Tuesday night watching the
Yeah,
Kings.
Exactly.
Just like Devin Carter, 1 for 6 for
Yeah.
3.
That makes me cry.
The Harrison Barnes shot. Oh man.
Oh,
Joe, you're getting
Come
too
on,
serious
dude.
now. Yeah,
You were
Joe.
joking.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry.
So the ones that get me, and I think part of this is because these are like I have memories with my mom attached to these. So I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that gets me, or my grandfather who's no longer with us. Like I have the Niners Packers divisional playoff game in the 2012 season, so January of 2013, where Colin Kaepernick went nuts. Super emotional game for me, and anytime I see highlights from that, I get a little misty, just a little misty. I don't cry,
No, yeah.
but I get a little misty. The final game at Candlestick where Navarro Bowman had the pick 6, it looked like the Niners are going to trick this game off, and Bowman missed the onside kick, and the Falcons and Matt Ryan are driving, and it's like, man, they need to win this game. If they won the game, they would clinch a playoff spot. They played in Arizona the following week with a chance to they would have another chance to clinch. But it's a final game at Candlestick.
Yeah.
It's been this crazy emotional day. And then Bo, pick 6. He ran at the end zone where my mom had her season ticket, so he's running directly at us. We're going nuts. That one always gets me a little misty. And then the entire final 5 minutes of the Niners Saints 2011 divisional game will get me.
Funny enough, I think a game for that for me is not even a Dolphins game. It's not. I think it's like Raiders Chiefs years back. It's like a Thursday night. It was the week after my grandmother passed. She was a big Raiders fan. Went to high school with Jim Plunkett. All those things. Massive Raiders fan. Raiders were like 1-something, 2-something going into Thursday night. Maybe Steven Castaneda, the chat. I don't remember exactly what.
I think they were winless.
Maybe winless, but point being, it's just we're watching the Raider game and they win that game, and me, my dad, and everyone's watching the game, just going crazy for the
That's
Raiders.
awesome.
Did that for grandma.
That's
Stuff
so
like that.
sick,
Yeah, so that's part of the game for me. But
is that the one where I think it was C.O. Moore was in the backfield?
He's celebrating. Yes, he's celebrating. We're like, go back.
Seymour's
Go back. Yes, go back. Yes. That's the game.
That was, I think, they were winless. They won that game, and then I think the next week they beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
I believe that's
So that's part of the game for me, I guess. But shout out sports.
Man, I love sports.
Yeah.
We should talk about it on the radio.
We should.
That'd be sick. If that was our job, that'd be so fire. What did I say I was going to talk about? What were we going to do next?
Sac State.
Oh, Sac State. All right. So Sac State's going to the MAC. So MACtion will be on the West Coast.
Yes, it is.
That's going to be cool. ESPN, we're going to get these random Tuesday, Wednesday nights, throw on the TV, and there's Sac State. That's a really cool thing. I don't think burying our heads in the sand of the hurdles on and off the field here is going to make those hurdles go away.
Yeah.
This is a fun thing. This is a potentially really cool thing. This is a significant leap for Sac State specifically, because this isn't North Dakota State. This isn't James Madison, where you were this powerhouse for years and years, and then you made the leap. They have just very recently, in the last 5 years, become this perennial good potential playoff team.
It's a name now. It's not just Sac State football team, whatever. It's Sac State now.
Right. It's more notable now than it was even 5 years ago, and I credit Dr. Luke Wood with a lot of that, trying to push this thing forward. But at the same time, I also believe that there's a pace this typically has to go at. And I think that there are, again, significant hurdles they have to clear. That doesn't mean they can't clear them just because I think they're there. But anybody with skepticism about this, I think it's very, very warranted.
No doubt. I don't disagree with you at all. Damian, Luke Wood, President Luke Wood was on the show, D'Lo and Casey, yesterday, Sacramento State president. Damian and D'Lo had questions for him. It wasn't just, oh, yeah, wow, this is amazing. It's like, no, I got questions and this, and that. That is all fine. But what I've seen, too, is it's kind of, I don't know if it's a college football thing or fan thing in general, but just there's been a lot of people looking down on Sac State for making this move as well. Like, I don't disagree with you. Yes, there's questions that need to be answered, and I got thoughts about that as well. But there's been this aspect where it's like, oh, like, what is Sac State doing? Just kind of looking down on the school and just talking down about them just for the move that they've made that I don't necessarily get.
Sure. That's fair.
We both graduated from the school.
Yep.
Shout out to the Hornets, Stingers
Yeah.
up, all
Full
that stuff.
disclosure,
Yes.
huge Sac State fans.
Yes. All right. I remember being in school, going to the games and leaving at halftime because they were boring. All right. The Sac State games never had any type of atmosphere before that, anything like that, other than the last 5 years, like you've talked about. So them going to the MAC, for me, it's exciting. Like, now it's like finally something to root for. Like, I get the whole root for your school things and stuff like that, but like, I can only do so much against North Dakota State or whatever. Insert it's just the FCS school that you want to talk about. So now that they're here, like, it's kind of exciting for me. But again, there are questions. But also, I think that Luke Wood and those guys at Sac State, they're aware of what questions need to be answered. I don't think it's just like, oh yeah, we made it to the MAC and FBS, and it's kind of here it is. That's kind of that was kind of the thought going into it before they were FBS, and it's like now they've made it happen. I do think you can ask questions and stuff, but also there's a little bit of grace that needs to be given where it's like, I think they're aware of what they need to accomplish as well. I don't think it's just, hey, we're here and let's go home, everybody.
No, I don't think it's that either.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that this was the plan. I don't think this was a linear path to the MAC. They didn't opt to leave the Big Sky to go to the MAC conference. This was an accident, ostensibly. And that's where I think, again, there's I think some healthy skepticism. I think the fact that there's a $23 million entrance fee that Dr. Luke Wood posted.
Yeah, this is
on
not
Twitter.
cheap. They're covering costs for teams flying and all that stuff too.
He posted on Twitter that, and this is from Dr. Luke Wood, quote, entrance fee paid by game guarantees and other football revenue. Football is paying for football. No student fees and no general fund. Okay, but what happens if football doesn't pay for football? And I think that's something that Damien was trying to get at yesterday, and I didn't hear a clear answer. And I think that's a fair question. I don't think that's
you're
insane.
not wrong. Yeah.
I think that's in fact the right question. And again, that's not to say that Sac State can't go into the MAC and win that conference and become this FBS. I don't want to say powerhouse, but this notable FBS team that's competitive year in and year out. That's absolutely on the table. And maybe it leads to an awesome new football stadium. And maybe all of a sudden Sac State is a football school and we change the way completely that we look at Sac State. I would love that. I want that so bad. I was there for 5 years. I liked it so much I stayed an extra year. I was there for 5 years, and every single year I had to battle and argue with people who were like, why does my tuition go to sports? I don't give a damn about sports. And I hated that. Because I was there because I loved sports, and I got to do so many things with broadcasting, with Hornet Sports and with KSSU, the Sac State student run station. I got to do so much there with the sports department and with the sports program, and I still love everybody over there. Like I have so much love and admiration for what they have been doing behind the scenes to help run Sac State sports. And I'm rooting so hard for them. I want this so badly to work. But I also think that there is some very, very real questions that still need to be answered. And I don't think that just becoming FBS was, like you said, I don't think they think this. I don't think I don't think Dr. Luke would think this, that, okay, did it. Okay, next thing. I think this is very much step one. But I also think that with step one comes more questions down the road.
That's fair. And I think, I guess it's just the approach you want to take with it. Like, I don't disagree. There are questions about it. I'm not naive to that or anything like that. But it's also, I'm fine with the fact that you don't necessarily have every single answer on February 18th. Like, this is not
no doubt.
This is not a final move. There are things in place that need to move forward and things of that nature. It's just, if it gets to a time where it's like, it's time for those answers and they don't got them, then yeah, it's time to light them up, bring the heat, all that stuff. But for right now, I'm taking the approach like, yes, this is, for me, being an alumni and all that is a good thing. I'm happy about it. Again, there's skepticism and all that stuff, but those are questions that are going to be answered later on down the line. I'm not going to, I guess, not saying you are, just in general. I'm not going to be frustrated right now.
Yeah, it's not even the frustration. It's making a move that costs $23 million. And from everything I've heard, if I'm wrong, like I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
I want to be off base on this. Please let me know if that's the case. 916-909-1320. I haven't heard how they're going to cover all $23 million. outside of football's paying for football. That's it? Because the fact that was outright asked yesterday on D'Lo and KC, and again, maybe I didn't hear it, but the fact that I did not hear oh yeah, great question. Here, this is how. That's the thing that worries me, because that's where this gets really sticky in 5 years.
We also work in sports, though. And we also know that you can't necessarily say your every move right then and there. Maybe he does have an answer for that, but it's not necessarily one he can give yesterday. It's some things that you still have to work through, and maybe I'm being naive to it, and he has no plan whatsoever, and it's just kind of like, hey, we'll figure it out when we get there. But again, it's just kind of giving him time, I guess. Like maybe there is an answer there that he can't necessarily give right now. Maybe
I hope that's the case.
Yes, maybe there's donations, or they're working with boosters, or whatever it takes now in this new era
I hope
of
so.
NIL, and that's just kind of like, yeah, you can't necessarily say, yeah, we have a deal about to be done, or just this, and that. Like I said, you can't just give every answer right now. When it comes to a point where it's like, no, we need those answers now, and he doesn't have them, or they don't, then yeah, that's an issue. But if it comes to a point where it's time for the answer and they do, then it's like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
It's just the approach you want to take with it, I guess.
I hope
The skepticism is not wrong, and it's well warranted, all that stuff.
Mhm.
My only issue is just with the fans and the people, I guess, just around here, just looking down and just talking down about it.
Yeah.
Where like you're not even asking questions. You're not even asking questions like you or D'Lo were yesterday. You're just more so like just kind of looking down on this move, spitting on it, like whatever's so stupid. Like that's my issue. You want to ask a question, that's fine.
If that's and that's here's the thing with that specifically. I think there's also a contingent of people that, again, don't view.
You shouldn't want to see Sac State, and you shouldn't want to see them fail. Is my thing.
Yeah.
Not saying
unless you have something against the school, in which case, okay, but if that's the case, there's nothing that they were going to do. They could have stolen Alabama's entire recruiting class and joined the Big Ten, and people would have been down on it. Like there's always going to be those people. And again, my other question is, how much does going to the MAC move the needle for people? I get the games are way more well attended than they were when I was there. They're a bigger deal than when I was there a million years ago. Like I got that. Like I'm with that. And what they've done, again, the athletics program, Dr. Luke Wood, Mark Orr, what they've done has been really, really cool for that school and for us fans and for us alumni. On the other hand, my worry is that this doesn't move the needle. Like this isn't.
People gotta want to be out there too, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know that there are more people now who are inclined to go to a Sac State game or to be involved with Sac State football because they're in the MAC, because they're playing Western Michigan and Ball State.
Well, it's good. I'm assuming we're going to see better talent on Sac State. We're going to see better talent from these schools coming. Like, yeah, it's not the Pac, it's not the Big 10 or Big 12 or whatever. Like, it's none of those conferences. Like, yes, we know that, but also, I mean, they're going to be on ESPN. They're going to they're legit,
which matters.
They're legit, and also like, yes, the community show up. Like it's not like you show up for the Sac Republic. That's not MLS. Treat Sac State the same way, I guess, is what I'm saying. I'm
not ready to say they're legit. If we need to wait to answer questions on how they're going to take for it, I think we also need to wait and see if they're legit. If they go,
well, I mean, you're playing 1-11
in year
now,
one,
yeah.
Like, that's going to be a tough look. Coach Carter's got a big job ahead of him, and again, I'm rooting for him. I hope they win every game. I hope that they are the story of college football this year, because if Sac State is really good, that's going to be one of the big stories of college football, and that would be cool. I think it'd be cool for the school. I think it'd be cool for the region. But I don't think that anybody with questions is against Sac State.
No, yeah, that's not the point I'm trying to make it or anything like that.
Anyways, that's Jesse Tapia. I'm Kyle Madsen. Shout out to Sac State. Hornets up.
Shout out to my journalism degree in communications minor.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
I did mass comm studies major, journalism minor. But here's where I'm better than you.
Oh wow, let's get into it.
No, I was that was I was like, cool, journalism minor, easy work. I'll get a couple of it. And then I was in talking to an advisor getting ready to graduate. And here's where I did bad in school early on.
Mm-hmm.
And my advisor was like, you have to do one extra semester because you failed this class. You also didn't take this class. I don't know why you didn't take this class. And also you have this class to finish your minor. I was like, okay. And then that person went, or you could stay around 2 extra semesters and change your minor to a major and take 3 extra classes. Bet.
Get me out of here.
Rack me up. Rack
Why
me up
not?
another year.
Yeah.
Let's go. So shout out to Sac State, man. What an institution. The 49ers are going to Mexico City.
Yeah, they are.
Their Australia game didn't get canceled. No.
Should have.
They're still playing in Australia on Wednesday or Thursday. TBD.
Yeah. Do we want to have them play before the Super Bowl champs or after?
Which is okay. So here's the thing on that is I looked at it and I saw the initial reporting. They'll play either Wednesday or Thursday of opening week. Because they can't do Friday this year because of the Broadcast Rights Act, and the season starts late enough that they can't broadcast on Fridays because of college football, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, I initially went, oh, well, they're going to play Thursday because the Seahawks, the Super Bowl champion, will very obviously play Wednesday.
As they not as they should Wednesday, but play first.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see the Rams and the 49ers coming together to tell the NFL, like, hey, we have to go 19 hours ahead. 19 hours to Melbourne, Australia.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, Melbourne.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because of their accents.
Sophisticated. I'm going to start pronouncing it that way now.
Say Bickyard. Bickyard in Melbourne.
Oh.
They have to go 19 hours ahead to Melbourne, and then come back. So they're going to be playing. Geez, you good?
That was 4. I might not be. That was 4.
That
was 4. It might be it,
guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
D'Lo and Casey been sounding kind of funny the last week and a half. It might have got me now.
So I think the NFL, or I think the Niners and Rams are going to try and be like, yo, we need that extra day. This can't be a normal Thursday night game because on Wednesday here, they're going to be playing Thursday in Australia. And then they have to fly back and lose 19 hours. So and that's where I think the Niners and Rams are going to really try and push for Wednesday, which would be ridiculous. It would feel fake.
Yes.
It would feel like
it's
preseason.
ridiculous that they're going to play football in Australia. That's what it is. It's ridiculous. Okay, it's dumb. I get it. Grow the game. We've been in London, Germany, all that stuff. Why do we have to go to Australia? And I'm not trying to diss Australia. Shout out to shout out to Australia. I love all the Australians. No issues with them. You're great. Love you guys. But again, we don't need to send a divisional game. Maybe if it was 49ers, Titans, or insert irrelevant team playing the 49ers, sure, send them to Australia. Go ahead. But why are we sending a divisional game to Australia? Where now it is going to mess with the whole, oh, yeah, the Super Bowl winner plays first, or just kind of that tradition. Why are we doing this? Because of money, Jesse. That's why we're doing it, you idiot. But I know. I don't like it.
Everything's about money. That's
yes, I know.
In.
I get it. Yes,
I get
that. I get that, but I don't like it.
No, that's I actually have I talked about the Steves yet on this show?
No, I don't.
So I met
these Steves are.
So this guy Steve, his partner Fiona, and his friend Steve were in Hawaii at the same time as us. They were from Australia, and we got to yapping with them while watching the oddly enough the Dolphins Jets game where Tyreek Hill got hurt. So we were watching that at the bar, and I just remember because the bar collectively reacting to Tyreek's injury was tough. But it turns out one of the Steves is a huge NFL fan. So Steve and Fiona's son plays professional Aussie rules football, which is an insane sport. I tried to learn. I got nothing. But it's not rugby. Completely different sport. But anyways, the other Steve got really into the NFL during the pandemic and like listens to NFL podcasts and like knows the sport and has all these takes and like wasn't sure about Caleb Williams as of that was week 4. Wasn't sure about Caleb Williams because he has some accuracy issues, but really likes his talent and all this. Like had takes, like was ready to go. There's a huge NFL fan base.
Yeah.
in Australia, it turns out, because he did that because so many people around him are huge into the NFL. So again, I get why they're doing it. It's
Just-
cash, but
it's just in the divisional game there.
it so messes with the schedule where you're sending these teams there. Okay, so they can go ahead of time because before week 1. Okay, but now your preseason gets cut down just that little bit, those couple of days. Now you're playing, your body clock's all off to start the season. It's just a weird.
It's week 1 too. It's going to be the ugliest game of this season because teams already don't play in the preseason. The starters.
Good.
And it's going to be week 1. You add the time change. It's going to be disgusting football.
We're getting sidetracked. The Niners then later in the year, no date set yet, are going to Mexico City.
International.
They're going international twice. They have 20,000 miles in travel just in those 2 games.
The San Francisco 49ers of Australia and Mexico City.
And then they also have games in Atlanta and in New York this year.
Yeah, get on that plane.
Whoa. Yikes. A lot of travel.
Can't wait till we're in November. Oh, did the travel really affect the 49ers this season? And
I can't wait, dude. I'm going to I'm going to create a situation of so many excuses.
Yeah, Niners Wire. The 49ers have traveled 1 million miles.
I can't wait. I can't wait till that travel miles thing comes out. Oh, I'm writing about it so fast.
Why the 49ers have wasted the most jet gasoline this year in the United States.
Why the 49ers have the largest carbon footprint.
Yeah. Why the 49ers are bad for the environment.
He's Jesse. I'm Kyle. Joe Brazil is behind the glass. We're the Jump. We're hanging out with you for one more segment before we give way to our good friend and our favorite coworker, Rich Eisen. Con Knipple said a wild, wild thing about what historical figure he'd like to play in one-on-one basketball, and I can't wait to talk about it next on ESPN 1320 Sacramento Sports Center. Y'all see Mark from the Traders posted my tweet last night?
I saw you posted that. Mark posted your tweet.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Christian McCaffrey has retweeted me. Terrell Owens.
Dude.
Jerry Rice. Emmitt Smith has responded to me before. Like I have had so many cool things happen to me on the internet. Mark from Traders, he's a Dancing with the Stars pro is why he's famous and on Traders. But the fact he's on Traders, he wore a very like 1920s style outfit. Looked like a Peaky Blinder on the last episode.
Still need to watch that show.
Great show. I think you'll really like it. And wore like a Peaky Blinder outfit. And so I made a joke about him looking like a Peaky Blinder on Twitter. And I'm guessing they have producers who just peruse the Traders hashtag and either send the contestants the tweets they think are worth a post, or if maybe it's producers running the account so they don't do spoilers and the producer just finds that and then puts it up with the photos. I don't know exactly how it works, but his photo shoot of his outfit on the very first one posted my tweet with it. And that was a really cool thing that happened.
No, that was dope. I saw that.
I had so many people.
Happy for you.
I've had so many people reach out to me. Again, I've been super blessed. I've been so lucky to get to do what I do. I've had people reach out to me about this who have never even once been like, hey, this thing about your job. Like they couldn't care less. They're like, Mark from Dancing with the Stars saw your tweet. Like, yeah, man.
Dude,
the fire.
The first thing I ever saw about you was a tweet. I think it was your A's tweet, possibly. I'm not sure. But I know a while ago, quite some time ago, I had seen your tweets, and that's why I followed you on Instagram way before I worked here.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, your tweets are how I found
so
you too. So that is funny.
Shout out to you, Joe.
A
man of impeccable taste.
I thought about reopening my Instagram yesterday.
Ooh,
there we go. We're on it. We're on it.
Thought about it, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Dude, tap back in. Why not? You don't have to be on it. Just let us be able to tag you and stuff.
Well, that's the thing, maybe for that, but
you're being selfish.
I don't think
no, it's selfish. Hey, Chatty House, do you guys want Jesse to get on Instagram?
I remember
916-909-1320.
I created it back in sophomore year, so Crystal would be happy, and it's like, oh no, now she's gonna be with me the rest of my life. It's like I don't need to do this anymore.
I remember one of the first times I actually met D'Lo and Casey. Kenny was like, "Oh, what's your Instagram? I'll follow you." So I gave him my Instagram, and he goes, "Oh, it's private. You're one of those people." And I'm like, oh, went home, changed. I was like, you're right. Let's go back to public. This is what I want to do. I don't need a private account. Shout out to Kenny for that. That was funny.
We'll see, Stevie. The thought has been out there. Right now, it's still no, but the thought has been out there.
Did you guys know there were 4th and 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movies? I just looked down to like 22 messages in a group chat, and it's my friends talking about the 4th and 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
What is the Dead Man's Chest or something like that? What is the
I have
Dead
no
Man's?
idea.
There's like a third one. I've seen that one. No clue.
Isn't
what
that
the others
Curse of the
are.
Black Pearl? Or is that the second one?
Which one's the one with the dude and he's got the green face? I think he's got
That's like all of them after number 2.
Okay.
That's Davy Jones.
Yeah, so maybe that one I've seen.
Bootstraps. Yeah, no
Shout out
idea.
to the Pirates of the Caribbean right at Disneyland.
Gavin's got being a sports fan figured out. He's a huge Eagles fan. Doesn't know more than 3 players on the team. Locks in, roots for the jersey, goes about his day.
Yeah, but I love the pain of being a sports fan. I'm not gonna lie.
See, he's missing out on all the suffering, obviously.
My favorite part is getting together with my cousins and laughing about how much the Dolphins have just disappointed us. Like, it's not even sadness at this point. It's just like, oh yeah,
that
remember when
shared
they sucked?
misery means a lot.
No, yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good point.
Welcome back to The Jump with Kyle Madsen and Jesse Tapia.
I'm Kyle. Joe Brazil behind the glass. Jesse Tapia is across from me. If you'd like to know the layout, Joe is sitting to my right. Jesse's left.
Yeah, there's a thing of glass between us and Joe.
That's why we say behind the glass.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it's literally a window. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be soundproof. It's not.
No, it kind of is.
Like it's not. Like Joe, if
Hold on, real quick. Joe, cut your mic real quick. Yell something. No, it's not at all. I can hear
yeah,
that.
you can hear him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe yells hella loud, yeah.
Dude, that was a good yell.
Yeah.
Thank
A
you.
really good yell by you.
Thank you.
No, but there's times that we've been sitting in there, and you probably don't know because you have headphones on when
Mhm.
you're producing D-Lo and KC. But when Damien like gets loud, you
Yeah.
can just hear it. I guess not
Oh, yeah.
soundproof.
Oh, yeah.
Make a play, somebody.
Third sheet of glass in there.
Yeah, like that when I used to sit down in the sales pit and the wake up call would get wild and loud. You could just hear them
Uh-huh.
on the hallway. These rooms are not soundproof, FYI, and it's not just because there are microphones in them. Did you see what Con Knipple said about the historical figure he'd like to play one-on-one with?
Who did he pick?
He picked Jesus.
No way. I did not see this.
My man picked JC himself. Not
Bold
John,
move.
not Jonathan Carlos, our coworker.
Yeah, shout out JC, Jonathan Carlos, Culture Coder.
Culture
Culture
coder.
Coder, yeah.
Culture coder.
But I still
Yeah.
represent. Shout out.
Culture Coder is our company's version or our building's version of
Employee of the month.
of the month. Like it's the person who, like a coder with a computer, they code the culture.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Joe have both been culture coders. Where you at, dog?
I don't think I'm eligible for that one. I don't leave Studio One. Like, I do great work here and all that, but I don't think I do the other part
If
of
you
that.
spent, because everybody here knows, oh, this is going to be a good bit. We're going
I
to
say hello to people, by the way. I'm not just kind of walking
no,
on silent.
No,
Yeah.
you're not a jerk.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a
nobody
fan-
thinks you're mean.
Jesse's a fan favorite. here.
Everybody likes you is the thing. Like
Absolutely.
that's it. You're not
Nice.
like, man, Jesse's here. Ugh. Like, but here's the, we're going to try and get Jesse a culture coder. And
Let's
here's how.
do it.
Here's how. I need you to
The
participate.
board is sick, by the way.
Only a little bit. Only a little bit. Everybody knows how hard you work here. Like everybody, the fact that you're still producing D-Lo and KC 2 to 6 while also hosting this show is insane. There's nobody else. There's nobody
shout out
else
to my midday
in
naps.
any market doing this, right? So everybody knows that. Bill shouted you out at a sales meeting.
Nice.
He did. He was like, man, Jesse and he's hosting in the mornings, and I come in here and I'm leaving at 6 o'clock and he's still here. And I went into the room and I said, man, long day. He said he didn't sigh, he didn't roll his eyes. He just said, yeah, man, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. And he's like, that's the kind of attitude we need. So you got that going for you, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
People
everybody
have
knows.
noticed.
People be known. I need you to spend. We can start next week. I need you to spend. Oh no, when does the culture coder thing happen? Now we could start.
We're gonna start a little marketing campaign like they do for Defensive
No, we
Player of
are.
the Year the last 3 weeks of the season.
No, it's exactly what's going to happen.
Vote for Jesse.
We just need you. No, it's not. We're not going to do that. But that line of thinking is exactly. We're going to have you when you get here, or let's say when you leave, because I know you don't want to like hang out and talk. So as you're leaving in the mornings,
Yeah.
walk down to the sales pit, be like, "Hey, everybody, how's it going? Like, you guys good? Like, just whatever." If John's wearing a Dodger hat, which he's wont to do sometimes, and say, "Hey, John, hey, Shohei, am I right?" Just do that.
No, give him a hard time. That's what I do.
The sales support staff who sits out here, Vanessa, Gio, Sylvia, Wesley.
See, those are my people. Like
When
I see
when you
Gio, I
pop
give him a
out-
fist bump.
Yep. Oh, fist bumps
Yeah,
are great.
see,
Fist
we
bumps
got
for
to
everybody.
that point.
Morning, everybody. What's up? What's up? Good to see you. Appreciate you guys, et cetera, et cetera. See that? Miller. Hey, I'll see you at 2 or 1 or whenever you're here. 1:30,
I got you.
whatever.
Just be visible a little
Exactly.
bit. I got you.
Go down to if promotions is here, go down to promote. Just be visible. Like I said, you don't have to stop and chat,
Yeah,
but just be pleasant, smile. What's up? Hey, fist bumps for everybody.
we're gonna work on this.
We
2026, we're gonna make this my year, where it's like, oh yeah, Jesse is a friendly presence, not friendly presence, but yeah, Jesse like says hi and things like that.
Yeah, and again, I'm not expecting you to like start going to company parties and
No,
like, doing
yeah.
all that. Like
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not. I'm not
I
trying
am
to.
me.
I don't want to be unrealistic about my expectations of about your expectations of how you
Yeah.
interact with your coworkers. I don't want to change that. I just want to get you a culture coder award.
Oh yeah, that's the goal here.
You have the work part down. Is pop in Mark, our promotions guy, walking in his office. Hey, Mark, you good?
Yeah.
Just you good? Need
We're gonna
anything
work
from
on
me?
this.
No. All right, cool.
Chatty House, just follow me on my journey here.
You should do this journey on Instagram.
Don't do that.
There
I'm
it
just
is.
doing reels of
This
me
could
saying
be a
hi. I'm just doing
campaign.
reels of me saying hi to coworkers.
Wait,
This
that
is
would
my
be
coworker
so
John.
funny.
Hello, John.
That would be so funny
Meet
with the
the-
final conclusion
Yeah.
being him winning it. That would be awesome.
This is my
Oh,
boss
okay.
Aaron. Hey Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, or the final conclusion of the next all staff meeting, and it's not Jesse winning it.
That would be.
And then I go live on Instagram. This was all for nothing.
I hate this. place,
Yeah.
actually.
Deleting my Instagram.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, I
Hang
think
on.
we're onto something.
All right, hang on. Con Knipple pick Jesus as a historical figure he'd like to play one-on-one with. This is via the score.
Yeah.
He said, quote, "He might beat me. I think that would be cool. A conversation with him would be better, though.
Let's see where he's going with this, Loon.
I want to put I don't care about any of that. That's his, like, what you do with your religion
Yeah.
or your spirituality is 100%.
No, he's
up
got the
to
right
you.
mindset because you're
I
about to.
don't-
I'm about to argue with you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I don't, that is not my gripe here. If you want to play one-on-one with Jesus, John F. Kennedy, whoever, like,
It's your person.
I don't know why I went Jesus to JFK. That was crazy.
That's it. Oh yeah. Wait. We're done with this segment. Now we're gonna walk down just your life and figure out why we got to that point. Why you put Jesus with JFK?
I've been watching
Yeah.
a lot of Cold War documentaries.
Yeah. Kyle's been dialed in on the Zapruder film.
Well, that's a
Jeez.
second shooter, dog. No, but speaking of shooters, Concanipple. So, he said he might beat me. I want to hang on that for a second.
No,
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
Jesus is not beating Concanipple at basketball. All right. I Googled this last night. Max. There are some people who believe that Jesus was 6 foot. There are
Okay.
some people who believe. Most people say 5'5" to 5'7".
Dude.
He has no smoke for Con.
I disagree.
on
This
the
is
basketball
not a
court.
human versus human type of thing here.
Sure it is.
Khan's getting cooked.
No chance.
Yeah, you're getting cooked as well.
Absolutely
We're
no
all getting
chance.
cooked.
No, we're not.
You're Googling Jesus
I'm backing.
wingspan.
I am backing down somebody who's 5'5", who's never played basketball before, and I'm hitting easy turnarounds.
Oh no, you're not. You're
That's
cooked.
light work for me,
You're
dude.
cooked.
That's light work. I outweigh. I got probably 150 pounds on him. This is such easy work, dude.
I guess.
Back him down, turn around, and Concanipple. That's easy. Concanipple's what, 6'6", 6'7"?
Or maybe about can knock down 3.
Come on.
No, you're getting cooked in sandals,
I'm
brother.
not asking him to do it like when it comes to other things, miracles, etc. Khan's got nothing. But on the basketball court, Khan's got to give himself some more
You don't
credit.
think you can work a miracle on the basketball court?
Maybe.
That's
It's
what I'm
a
saying.
good
You're done.
point,
You're done. You're
dude.
cooked. We're all
Maybe.
cooked.
It's a
It's over
really
with.
good
It's over
point.
with. It's over with. Give me Abraham Lincoln.
He's really tall, isn't he?
Wait,
but
you think-
again,
You think
Not
Abe?
gonna have
You think, yeah,
basketball
you think he can
acumen?
move around?
Abe never picked up a
Yeah.
basketball.
I'm a California kid or whatever. I'm dead. Abe has no athleticism.
I said, why'd you go to Abe Lincoln after I said JFK?
I don't know. Just thought it'd be funny.
Oh, okay. I thought you picked him because he's tall.
I don't know.
He was picking tall people.
That's just the historical figure.
But that's the
I go
thing.
with.
I think that's an interesting question, though. Who would you play one-on-one with? Which historical figure would you want to play one-on-one with? Because Khan's got the right idea
I
here.
could probably kick
This
Paul
is not-
Revere's ass.
That's it. Like, dude, and also Paul Revere on Fraud Watch
Yeah.
did not. He got
On
captured.
Fraud Watch.
He did. He got captured very early in this ride. All right, he's not. Excellent blacksmith. I'm not trying to take away anything from his blacksmith capabilities.
Yeah.
But
Sharpen a
this
sword.
midnight, this ride, get him out of here. So I think this is the right idea though, because you're not asking this in like, hey, who would you want to play one-on-one basketball against?
Yeah.
Which historical figure? Because again, I don't like. I can't even. I'm trying to. I'm stuck on presidents right now.
Give me the shortest person from like the 1940s NBA and let me see how good he really was.
Sure.
Yeah. Bob Cousy, get out here.
Prime Bob Cousy.
Get out here, Bob.
Cousy.
Check ball.
96-year-old Bob Cousy would probably still bust my ass, but that's fine. Like Napoleon. Like, yeah, man, I want to hoop with Napoleon. That's not because you're not asking like you want to play basketball against that person. Concanible's got it right. I think a conversation with him would be cooler.
Mhm.
Like that's what you're doing this for.
Yeah.
You're gonna go out, you're gonna hoop, you're gonna play to 12, then you're gonna sit down on the side and you're gonna have a chat. Like that's what this is ultimately asking, right? Because I think which historical figure would you want to play one-on-one against on its face
See,
as a professional basketball player? For a professional basketball player, is stupid.
yeah, for professional, but for me, no, I'm trying to play. So I don't want to talk to any of these guys. I'm trying to play you one-on-one and be like, yeah,
You're going
I
to-
beat so-and-so in one-on-one.
Historical figures outside of like Barack Obama played basketball.
Yeah.
And he's 6'1" or 6'2" or whatever. Like then okay, maybe. But if you pick a president, if you pick Elvis, like you are smoking all of those people on the basketball
Yeah,
court.
that'd be sick. I beat Elvis living skunk. Like he
You
sucks.
would.
Like he can sing.
Is
do
that
all
what-
stuff,
is that
but he
what-
stinks?
Is that what the goal is for you?
Yeah. Oh, Elvis, grab me this. Oh, yeah, I can't hit a 3 though. He stinks. You seen him dribble?
No, I haven't.
No
Probably-
thanks.
That's it. Is
Yeah,
he probably
stick to music, pal.
how many minutes of Elvis's life do we think he spent dribbling a basketball?
I'm gonna give you an
Over under
honest-
10 and a half.
Under. I'm gonna go like 9 or 8.
Did they do that in PE when Elvis was a kid? Did they have basketball? Like I'm sure basketball was a thing, but I don't know how much Elvis played.
Yeah, I don't know.
I found a picture that looks like it's a picture of him with a basketball.
That's a producer right there.
You know,
My
it
man,
looks
Can we
like
throw that up on the video stream, Joe?
yeah. Here,
Joe's out the share screen, but yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. Shout out Concanipple though.
I love that. He might beat me. Like, no, he wouldn't. That's
Loki
okay.
has the Hornets back.
Yeah, the Hornets are
I wanna
very
see-
much.
I want to
here.
see him in the playoffs this year.
Here,
What?
can you-
Ooh, I have a question.
here we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Shout
Let's
out
get
Joe
that.
Brazil.
Here, can you see that?
Yeah, let me get this. Let me get this out
I
here.
probably should have went with the over. There's more than 10 minutes of basketball time there.
Yeah.
What do we think
If
he's
we're taking
doing here?
pictures-
Is he mid jumper here?
It looks
No,
like
he's
in
Or do
a
we think he's throwing a
field.
pass? So
I
he's
think
got
he's-
the ball like in his.
Maybe he's catching a pass.
It looks like he's either catching a pass. He's got the hand very cocked out to the right there, the elbow very cocked out.
This feels kind of fake. Not AI, but just he's not playing basketball.
Why is that? Yeah, why are there colors
Yeah.
on the flowers?
Elvis was a fraud.
Okay.
I wonder if Elvis. I'm thinking he didn't need to be. LOL, so handsome. Jesus, Kathy in the comments. Get
Relax,
out of here.
Kathy.
Get it together.
Yeah, I
My
think Elvis. All
God,
right, yeah,
baby.
point being.
Anyways. I can do that and that. There we go. YouTube.com/ESPN1320 if you want to see what that photo looks like. Or you can just
Yeah,
Google
tune into the
Elvis and
jump.
basketball.
We talk Kings and Elvis shooting hoops.
Speaking of Concanipple and the Hornets, you said Con kind of has the Hornets back, and I'm with you. LaMelo Ball is playing really well. Brandon Miller's playing really well. They got some veterans there. What year would the Kings need to be having this type of season that the Hornets are having for you to be, I don't want to say satisfied, but in your timeline, in your head, when do they need to be at this point? And I want to define this point where they have 3 young players that they are definitively building around: LaMelo, Knipple, Miller. And they are starting to show signs of A, they're not tanking. B, they look like they might at least be a play-in team. And they look like this ascending franchise. The young players have developed, to use our favorite word.
I need it by like year 4. The Hornets, I'm sorry.
So the 2029-30 season?
Yeah, I don't need you to be 500 or anything like that. I don't even think the Hornets are. I think they're a couple games under. Let me double check. They are 3 games under 500 right now. So, yeah, they're not necessarily a good team or anything like that, but they are showing promise and improvement.
Mm-hmm.
It took the Hornets, I'll say 6 years. You drafted LaMelo Ball back in 2020, excuse me. Now it's been 6 years since, and now we're starting to see just kind of, I guess, progress, maybe some success on the horizon. But yeah, if you're Scott Perry, your contract does not run 6 years, brother.
The Hornets are definitely, but I think if they're,
I think you got to start showing this by year 4. Like the Hornets got in at the buzzer here.
no,
We got to LaMelo Ball trade questions, and if it's time to kind of move on, and if you can win with them, things along that nature. Like they kind of got in at the last minute. So for the Kings, you might not get that how do you say that grace, just that point where it's like, oh yeah, it finally worked in year 6. I think year 4 for normal teams is what's needed.
So wins wise, they win 39, 23, 33, 43. That was in 21-22. James Bray goes out of there. They hire Steve Clifford again for whatever reason. And he wins 27 games, 21 games. They fire him, they bring in Charles Lee. They win 19 games last year.
Yep.
This year they're on pace to win. How many are they on pace for? What's that math? 39-ish, 38, 39 games?
Sure. I
We'll
think you might agree in math, so I'll believe you.
Hang on, I'm going to do this real quick. 4 7 times 18.
But yeah, like you can't
39 games is what they're on pace to win.
Perfect.
And that's the kind of leap that you would love to see. I think you're right. Probably about year 4. Because this is not, and the other important thing here is they were at one point 14-26. They were 12 games under on January 12th. And since then they're 12-3.
Yeah, 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, you start to see the wheels turning. I think, yeah, year 4. Because this year is whatever it is. Next year you'll have hopefully at least one, well, you'll have a top 5 pick, hopefully top 2. And then the next year you're probably not going to be very good. So you'll have another top pick going into 27, 28. And that's where things need to start to come together. You might not be very good in 27, 28, but by 28, 29, you need to be ascending.
Yeah, the moment you land, if you do land a top 2 pick, top 3 pick, it's like, all right, it's go time now. Like you have your guy. The moment you get the guy, like it's nothing else matters. Now it's time to start building out a winner.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it might be ugly now and it might take a while and bad contracts this, bad contracts that, but figure it out. We got to start seeing some progress by year 4. Because I don't think
the patience thing doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
When once you have that guy or the player you think is that guy.
And you talked about the Hornets over that 6 years. Like, yeah, it wasn't just one coach over that time. Guys got fired. It's not supposed to take as long as it did. And Charles Lee finally seems to have figured it out. So shout out to them. Shout out Con Knipple. Shout out to his historical figure one-on-one selection. Shout out all that stuff. But point being, it's kind of like, yeah, you might not get that grace if you're Scott Perry. Like you got to get it by year 4 because you might be out of here by year 5.
The other important thing I think with Charles Lee and the Hornets specifically is by the end of last season, you saw they weren't good. Like they were not a very good team, but you saw like the defensive effort. You saw Charles Lee doing things on the defensive side. This is from what I understand of people who watch the Hornets closely. I'm following the Hornets very closely now because I think that that's a good track the Kings can follow. They haven't done anything extraordinary outside of be bad and draft well. So I think that's a fine path you can follow. And they've done it without having the number 1 overall pick. But you started to see at the end of last year, like, okay, they're affecting teams defensively at least a little bit. Now Brandon Miller's gotten healthy and LaMelo Ball is playing well, and they bring in Con Knipple, who has helped them kind of get over this hump and out of the tank race and into the play-in.
Ninth right now in the play-in standings.
I'm watching Charlotte. Yeah, they're gonna make it because the Bulls aren't passing them.
No.
The Bulls right behind them. No, Atlanta's behind them. But
Atlanta's
the
a half
Bulls are
game
11.
back. Bulls are 2 games back, as are the Bucks.
The Bulls aren't touching them. The Bulls are done.
But yeah,
Add it to the Hornets.
yeah, you're not getting 6 years. Give the Kings 4, and let's start to see some progress there. We're a couple games under 500.
Is it? I know Trista Crick brought this up with D'Lo and KC yesterday. That like it when you see it. She was mentioning tanking, and I know that's obscenity is how it's defined by like the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
I'll know it when I see it, and that's just kind of been the thing. But that's sort of how I feel when people say I need to see the players develop. I think we'll collectively know it when we see it. There's not a benchmark. There's not a benchmark of wins. There's not a benchmark of net rating they need to get to, or defensive rating or offensive rating. I don't think there's anything like that. I think we'll know it.
Yeah,
based
we're not
on
going to
just
know it
what
this
it
year.
looks like. No. This year's out. Again, it's out the window. I'm watching. Does Nick Clifford continue to look more comfortable? Does he start to find his shot a little bit? Does Dylan Cardwell keep expanding his game? Where's Maxime right now? Like those are the things. Is Devin Carter going to be a player for them, either on the court, or is he a player that a team suddenly starts to maybe we'll give up a draft asset for? Those are the little things that matter down the stretch here.
Yeah,
over the final 26.
We'll see. I don't feel necessarily great about this final 26, Kyle.
How's that? Like
I was going into it like, oh yeah,
okay,
maybe Doug's gonna be able to get some identity in here and get these young guys playing a certain way, and then you look, bottom end of standings, 12-44. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a lot of what we've seen already.
Yeah, I just I'm watching for individual players and how they're handling the end of this year.
Yeah.
That's all, and I think that's how a lot of people are viewing this. It's very obviously not going to go well.
Yeah, it was just tough too because, like I said, I don't know who's a guy and who's not yet on this team. Who's part of this core and who's not going to be, and who's an NBA player and who's not.
To be clear, we're not going to solve that over the next 26. Nothing Nick Clifford, Dylan Cardwell, Maxime Renaud, Devin Carter, nothing those guys do over these final 26 games are going to change dramatically how I feel about them going into next year.
Yeah.
But if you win a couple of games that maybe you shouldn't win because Dylan Cardwell had 18 and 14, or Maxime Renaud had a 20-20 game.
It's a plus.
Or Nick goes for 30 again efficiently. Those are the things that you start to, okay, at least you feel better about it. But yeah, there's nothing else to it is the ultimate playing out the string. Because I don't even think it's a threat for the Kings to fall out of the worst 3 teams.
Might not even be a threat for them to fall out of the worst record.
Right. So I think that's definitely on the table, which is why I don't think falling out of the top, bottom 3 is on the table.
Yeah.
We'll keep diving into this over the rest of this week here on The Jump. But thanks for hanging out with us. We're live every day from 7 to 9. That's Jesse Tapia. I'm Kyle Madsen. Joe Brazil behind the glass helping us out. Really appreciate you, Joe. Our favorite coworker, Rich Eisen.
Rich, call me back.
It's coming up next with the Rich Eisen Show. D'Lo and KC live from 2 to 6. Until tomorrow at 7 a.m. Drink water. Be nice, people. Hell yeah.
Good shift, everyone. Shout out Joe.
Hey, great job, Chatty House. Good show by you guys there.
Do we know what the score of this Canada game is?
2-1 Czechia.
No. See you, Westside Kingspan. Shout out Jalen.
Hey, super dope that you guys drop in so early.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys.
He's out of here. Shout out Michigan. All right. We will see you guys later.